Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar focused on introduction of the use cases of the SprayCapture and our newest software, which is called SprayBrush. We are glad to have you all here today. I'm Peter, General Manager of the SprayVision, and I would like to introduce you also my colleague, Ondřej, from technical team. We will guide you together through this webinar, which is focused on optimization of the coating process to decrease the scrap, improve efficiency, and provide you full picture what is happening in your coating process. Before we get started, I have a few items to cover. This webinar is being recorded, and we will share the recording with you afterwards. Please use also the Q&A feature to submit your questions at any time during the presentation, and we will address them during our Q&A session on the end of the webinar. If you will experience any technical issues, please contact our support team and they will try to help you. That's all related to organization, and we can start with the slides itself. SprayVision, established in 2019, we have been focused from the beginning on the digitalization of the coating processes to deliver better setups, evaluate the coating quality, and control atomizers output, all through the combination of the hardware and softwares, where our first product is called SprayCapture, and it's a hardware-software combination for real measurement, evaluation, and much more, where we will, which will introduce you in higher level of the detail my colleague Ondřej on following slides. I will focus more on the SprayBrush, which is our newest product, which is pure software, and it's providing you the possibility to have the behavior model of atomizer to recommend the most effective parameters to be used in the coating process, and above that provide also simulation how will looks like your result after you will spray it, with the perfect match of the real measurement and simulation. So I will now pass the word to my colleague Ondřej, which will cover the SprayCapture and its use cases.
Okay, so hello to everybody. First, please let me introduce you the technology, how it is basically working. The technology is the combination of the hardware unit and the software. The hardware is used mainly for the capturing of the sprayouts, and then the software is later on used to evaluate all the data. In here, this is an example of first tool that we want to talk about, which is the process control. The process control is used to ensure that the stability and your projects are on good shape before you will start the production. In here, we can see the workflow of the process control. Basically, what we are doing, you are spraying the output of the applicator on the foil. Then the foil is transported to the hardware unit. Then the unit will do the capturing, and then you can use the software to evaluate the output that you have from your applicator. You can use the static patterns or the dynamic patterns, and this is basically the way how we can ensure the digitalization of the process. In here, we can have a look on the more detail on the process control. On the left, we can see an example of the bell applicator. On the right, we can see an example of the gun applicator. Basically, what we are doing, we are transferring the process control from visual evaluation to the digital world. It means the output of the applicators are evaluated by the software using different metrics to ensure that you have a good output or the best possible output of your applicators before you will start the production. In here, again, this is a visualization of the process control, which is used for the operators on the line. Everything is done to be as simple as possible and also as fast as possible for the operators, to be sure that all the workflow is very quick and you will not lose any time during the evaluation. Also, one of the main advantages of the digitalization of this process is that you can store all the information in your database. It means normally when you are doing the process control on the paper, you can evaluate it by your eyes, but With this methodology, you can store all the data in the software, and then in the software you can use all the data for the predictive maintenance or to be sure that you are doing all the steps necessary to ensure the stability of your production. In here, this is another tool. This tool is more focused on the optimization of the processes that you are running on the line. In here, this is an example of the dynamic pattern and also the calculation of the transfer efficiency of the pattern. Normally, if you need to know or want to know what is your transfer efficiency, the procedure is quite complicated. You need to mask your part with some special of aluminum foil. You need to measure the paint amount that you used, and also it is quite challenging to actually do the measurement, and also it is quite challenging for the time on the line. In here you can have the result basically in few seconds. You just need to input the data of your applicator, and then you can evaluate exactly what is your transfer efficiency and potentially found a better setting to ensure your paint consumption can be lower and your basically overall transfer efficiency of your production can be higher. In here you can see an example what is also possible with our software. In the past, only possible way how to measure the thickness was spot measurement. In our software, you can basically see the whole visualization of your part and ensure what quality of your paint distribution are you working with. In here, this is again an example of the actual part and the actual workflow, how it is done. In here, you can see a car body, which is prepared and masked with the foil before the painting procedure. In this case, the main topic was to see the paint distribution on the car body. After the software visualization, this is basically what you can see if you are using SprayVision technology. If you compare that to the just regular spot measurement, in this case you can see the overall paint distribution of the whole area. So you can imagine much more where is the room for the improvement, or where is the potential to have some faults in your production. In here we can have a look of the basically one of the points that we was doing for our customer using our technology. On the left side, you can see the original state of the production. On the right side, you can see the optimized process. On the left, we can see that there was let's say a significant striping defect, which was caused by the fault of the applicator and also with incorrect setting of the SB50 overlapping. On the right side, you can see the same procedure, only to be with basically optimization done in the software for the better SB50 overlapping. And with this procedure, we was able to increase the transfer efficiency and also ensure better trajectory overlapping, and with that better paint homogeneity on that area. In here, this is again a diagram of the basic workflow, how you can use the software to make your production a little better, or save some time, or also save some paint, increasing your transfer efficiency. Again, normal procedure is to use your existing trajectory, evaluate your current setting for the SB50, and then using our software, you can very easily and very fastly adjust your SB50 setting or the setting of the applicator to reach SB50 metrics that is better corresponding with your existing trajectory. In that way, you can increase very significantly your transfer efficiency. It means you can save quite a lot of paint in your existing process. And from my side, this will be a last mention for this topic, which is today's topic for the transfer efficiency, which is contamination analysis, which is also possible to do with our software. And this is mainly to focus on the contamination in the paint, meaning some bubbles or some examples of impurities, or evaluate the droplets of your applicator, meaning to evaluate the optimization possibilities or the optimization setting of your applicators to ensure, again, if something changed with your applicator, if something changed with your paint, to be sure that your process will be stable, or if there will be some impurities in the paint, you can catch it with our software. Now I will hand the word to my colleague Petr again.
Thank you, Andro. Thank you for introduction of the use cases with the SprayCapture and its technology. I will maybe just sum it up. So SprayCapture is working on the transmission of the light through the painted sample. You can do the measurement and process of the controlling of the output all in the wet stage, which is significant advantage. So you are not needed to wait hours, but you have the feedback about the result and its real dry thicknesses in a couple of minutes after you spray it. So you can use it also for process control to decrease the scrap ratio, because once you get the output from atomizer each day, you understand if it's something changing in the process and scrap could go down. You are able to understand, as Ondra was showing, the surface thickness distribution to have the full picture what is happening, and then based on this data improve the quality of your products. You are able to have the faster implementation of the new projects, since you can have the information about brush setup, connected with trajectory, and also have the fast feedback about real thickness measurement in wet stage. Optimization of the parameters and development of the brushes, which is something what you can do with the SprayCapture in kind of manual way. And I will show you with the spray brush how it's possible to make it more data-drivenly. Even less, here it's possible, and you have this option to work on it. Decrease of the paint usage, it's something which is connected with the brush development activities. You are able to identify the parameters which are more effective and giving you better transfer efficiency on the substrate to deliver you proper thickness and proper size of the output. And since you are decreasing the consumptions, proportionally, you are able to reduce the emissions of the VOC and CO2. So this was the, let's say, short overview of the benefits which SprayCapture can offer you. And I will focus more, as mentioned, on the spray brush. So just little, once again, mention the SprayCapture is using with the real data from the coating line, real measurements, real outputs. For spray brush, it's pure simulation software. Nevertheless, the simulation from the brush is really perfectly matching with the real measurement and real situation on the coating line. And I will explain you also why. Actually, we have, or differently, many of you actually is using the great application technology from the spray guns through rotary valves. I will now have the example with the rotary valves. Rotary valves might have the efficiency up to 90%. And it's theoretical lab condition. However, from our experience, from our customer places, we see that often it's 70% and less asserted in the process. And that is giving us the potential for data-driven setup, which might increase your transfer efficiencies in your processes and give you the advantage to be much more efficient with the same coating equipment. And it's valid really for rotary valves and even for the spray guns, where the gap might be even higher and bigger, so you can save much more. Why it's so complex and so difficult? A rotary valve setup itself, you need to find the combination of the 7 variables, so paint flow, shaping airs, electrostatic, distance, speed, whatever. If we consider just 10 options for each variable, it's giving us 10 million combinations, which is unbelievable number. If you also consider that it's interrelated, or all these variables are interrelated, you are having very complex problem, multi-physical problem, which in combination also with the limited time for the trials test on the coating line, it's giving to programmers very hard task. And even if they reach with this number of combinations 70%, it's already very good number, let's say, for human person without that data-driven models and softwares. Plus, okay, to reach it also, you need to have some experience of the programming team and some skill set. However, we will also show you the way how to have each programmer better in setup due to the fact that we will provide a software which can help with all needed tasks in the paint shop, and it's doing it based on the real data from your exact coating line. So, for example, if you would like to need to set up a new project to the coating line, and your focus might be also to have the high transfer efficiency, which our software can deliver, you are able to just give the request to the software. Okay, I would like to spray 10 microns on my bumper, car body, plastic part, metal part, whatever. And I need, because I have already the trajectories done, I need the size of the spray pattern, which is 250 millimeters, for example. This is what we need from you to hear, and the software will recommend you the parameters of the paint flow, rotation, speed, shaping gears, in case of rotary bells, for spray guns, of course, the what is needed, and gives you the really exact parameters with always keeping eye on the transfer efficiency. So you might be sure that with your installed equipment, you are always very efficient and you are really having the exact data which you just set to your coating line. So this is the first use case. You have, which was mostly used for the implementation of the new colors and new products to the coating process. Second possible use case is optimization of the used parameters which you have already in production and make them more efficient. Here, you just upload to the software brush table, you upload the model trajectories and ask the software, okay, this is my current situation and I need to have the better parameters which are delivering me better transfer efficiency, means decrease the paint flow. And software starts to look for the X combination of the parameters and delivers you and pick for you the one which will secure that you will have the still requested thickness, but with much higher transfer efficiency and lower overspray. So this is the optimization, and we are reaching, in this case, more than 15% decreasing of the consumptions. What is actually something above these activities, and it's, let's say, adding the even more advantage to this behavior model or digital twin of the atomizer, if you wish, is the simulation of the paint distribution on the car body. With this, you can really understand how the paint will be distributed, how uniform will be your coating, and all of this with great match of the simulation and reality. So you can get plus minus 1 micron difference from the real measurement, which you do on your parts, and what you will see in our simulation. And you might say, how is this actually possible? Because it's something what it's quite tough task and tough problem. But the main condition when we designed our product was that it will deliver relevant results that match with reality and are very practical to be used in real world conditions. So what we can do on the beginning, or what we need to do on the beginning, is to collect some specific data set from your coating line. This is normally taking 4 to 5 hours per one spray cabin, and we need to collect this data for specific type of atomizer to understand its behavior. Then this spray test digitalized in the SprayCapture, add to our neural network model. And once this is done, actually, you need to do it just once for that specific type of atomizer. And you are able to use it for the task which I mentioned before. So you have created the behavior model of atomizer, which gives you exact setups to reach the thickness and size of the brush. And you have the also the perfect entering point for the simulation. So you are able to simulate with high accuracy what is happening on the substrate of the sprayed part. I will now show you a couple of use cases, actually, which are bringing these benefits. Will be done on the car bodies, but you can imagine whatever part you want. First use case is focused on the paint paint flow optimization, means higher transfer efficiency. So here are the initial conditions which were sprayed. You can see that the thickness distribution is following as the mouse is moving. And now we would like to decrease 15% the paint consumption. So we reduce the paint flow coefficient by 15%. ask the software to recommend new parameters. And as you can see in the top part, it recommended different shaping guards than it was set it, and lower paint flow of the for this task actually. And you see that the thicknesses are maintained and we are able to use lower paint flow. So initial conditions and conditions which are optimized, and only three variables which changed are paint flow and shaping guards. So transferring more with lower, let's say, paint consumption. Another task, which is very typical for our customers, is optimization of the paint distribution and improvement of the homogeneity. So here you can see that there are quite some stripes, more or less, yeah, so it's not perfectly uniform. What you can do, you can measure distances and project its projection on the substrate to understand what should be the distance of the pattern. So in this case, 120 millimeters. If you would like to have 50% overlap, it's 240. And thickness, which I would like to have in one layer, let's say, in this case, 1.7 micron. You place it to the software. Again, it's delivering you the spray parameters which you should use, and you see that it's much more uniform, the output. So the uniformity significantly increased actually, and you have also the much more uniform pattern and spray output to deliver you homogeneous application for which, for example, metallic paints might be sensitive, and also it has big advantage that you are able to have much better color matching through your let's say surface or through whole surface. And here is the comparison. So left side there are stripes, on the right side you see that it's very homogeneous, and what was needed to do was need to change shaping guards to have the proper size of the spray pattern with proper overlapping. Just to conclude little, first use case, you are able to increase the transfer efficiency and decrease the paint flow, in this case by 15%. Second use case, you are having the better uniformity. In this case, we didn't touch on the paint flow, but of course, you can even combine these two use cases and make them in one task. Here was explained just to for this purpose of explanation was needed to isolate them a little and make them separated. To share with you also some results and demonstration from comparison of the simulation and thickness distribution, which I mentioned already that it's really matching perfectly with the real measurement. You can see on the left picture real measurement from the bonnet, where the thickness in this area was 6.6 micron, and you can see the same area in the simulation. Here it was 6.7 microns in average. Another measurement, another let's say comparison of the real thickness and simulation in this case in 7 points. So we measured 7 points on the car body, 7 points in the simulation. You can see that it's fantastically, let's say, correlating, and again, plus minus 1 micron in deviation. You might say, okay, there were flat surfaces and we are spraying much, let's say, more complex shape parts. We have a lot of experience with very complex shape parts. Also, for example, bumpers, which is the something what or where we have many installations around the world. And once you are able to apply the special tape actually to measure the thicknesses with the SprayCapture, and you have here the results of the simulation. So we took 16 points on the bumper, measured them on these tapes, and here you can see the plot where it was, let's say, comparing the real measurement and output from the spray brush. These results were published on the last Surcar in Cannes, actually, together with our great partner. So this is the how really precise is the spray brush in the simulation of the thickness distribution on the substrates. What you can do, you can also work on the improving, or you can work layer by layer to really control each layer separately and make the full composition of your coating process. and some far applications as for example, when you need to change the applicator for the new type, you are able to do it very easily with the spray brush also, because we can prepare for you data set which will deliver you similar outputs as with the old one, and this means very fast possible starting of the spraying with the new type of the rotary bells. We have implemented also velocity oscillation to adjust the robot speed, so we are able to identify where the robot is not moving uniformly, so you can make changes in this setup and improve it. And for some of you which are, let's say, willing to work a little differently, we have also option for the augmented reality programming, so you are able to work in augmented reality to set up your trajectories, brushes, but also to see how all the paint will be distributed on your substrate. To conclude little, SprayBrush, it's a data-driven software which is using parameters from exact coating line and atomizer, but with this can deliver you saving which is higher than 15%, can significantly improve your quality because you are not losing the time on the coating line, but you can do it in the simulation software, which is precisely simulating what is happening in the real application process. And you can save significant amount of the time which you need for the application of your new paints to the production or new products to the coating line. If you would like to see a demonstration of SprayCapture or SprayBrush in your facility, or I might also invite you to our coating lab, you can contact us and we can plan trial together to experience the improvement. I believe that we are more or less on the time, and now we will give the space to your questions. So you can ask whatever you want and we will try to answer. Teres, may I ask you to bring us the questions? Yes, we don't see it on our screen. Thank you. Okay, here is the first question maybe for you, Ondro. Does SprayVision provide training or support for the new users?
Okay. Yes, for everybody, if you decide to go together with SprayVision, of course, we are doing the installation of the hardware and software, and also it is including the training, which is ensuring that you are capable of using all the necessary tools for your production or your specific case.
Okay, maybe again you can answer because it's more related to SprayCapture. How is possible that you can measure the color if it's still wet?
Is how it is. It was already said during the presentation. We are using the light transmission through the paint, so the paint is actually not touching any of the surface inside of the unit. So basically, what we are working with is the light transmission through the paint, which is then transferred to the real thicknesses.
Okay. And maybe one more related to SprayCapture. Can you also measure the clear coats?
Yes, the clear coats are measurable. What we are seeing is the UV blockators inside of the clear coat, which is basically the protective function of the clear coat. For that, we are using UV lights to be sure that we can see them.
Perfect, thank you. And here is maybe one for me. There are several simulation programs on the market. You always say your is super accurate. What makes you different? You are right, there are some simulation programs on the market. However, it's working with the real data from your coating line and exact atomizer, and that's why we are able to be such accurate. Yeah, so it's important that once we create behavior model of atomizer, we are able to really provide also accurate simulation output on the paint distribution. And maybe last question. Okay, how much do you save with the spray brush? We were mentioning actually already, it's more than 15% normally what we see on our customer places, and we are always ready to show you how it's working on your coating line or prepare for you some testimonial in our laboratory. So I believe that we reached our time limit. I believe that now it's time to thank you for your participation. Thank you for your time with us. And we will be looking forward for some interactions or contacts for more information related to benefits which we can offer you.
Okay, so thank you all for your time with us, and of course, if you will have any questions, please feel free to reach to us to ask anything.
So thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, goodbye.